Hello, hello everybody, it's Jessica, and today I will be talking about my top 10 things that I love about living in Korea. And if I look down, I'm just looking at my list here, so hopefully it's not too awkward. Okay, so for number one, I love the public transportation here in Korea. It's super affordable. To take an hour bus from Mokpo, my city, to Gwangju, the biggest city near me, it's 1 hour and it's only about $5 to $7, depending on which bus you choose, like the standard or the more luxurious, more spacious one. And that is crazy. And then taxis, let's say I'm taking a taxi from my apartment to the bus terminal here in Mokpo. It's about maybe 10 minutes, and the cost is like $6. And then so bus and taxis are super affordable, and the scheduling for the buses is very nice. For example, buses from Mokpo to Gwangju are about every 30 minutes, so very, very good, and it's on time. Unlike the bus schedules in America, it's not necessarily on time most of the time. So buses are good, taxis are good, and let's see, the KTX train here in Korea is like one of the fastest trains, I believe. And for me to get from Mokpo, which is one end, the last stop or station on the KTX line, from Mokpo to Seoul, which is Seoul Station, which I believe is the other end of the line. So from one end to the other of the KTX line, it takes about 2.5 hours, and cost for that is a little bit more expensive, about $50, I believe, maybe $45 when you're putting in the what is it called, the exchange rate, when you're using the exchange rate between USD and Korean won. So yeah, traveling, public transportation is on point. It's perfect. Okay, and number two, it kind of goes along with that, is the cost of living. So being here as an English teacher, I don't pay, my rent is included in my contract, so I don't pay that. And my utility bills are very low. Like right now in the winter, I've had my heat on the past, at least the past 2 months non-stop, and my last month's cost for the heat was about $20 for 1 month, and having the heat on every day the whole month. So the utilities bills are super cheap, and the electric bill, I have just normal things plugged in. If you've seen my apartment tour, you see what electronics I use and what's plugged in my apartment. And for the last month, my my electricity bill was about $6. So total was less than $30 for this past month in the winter. So yeah, the cost of living utility wise is very nice, very nice. Let's see, the also just buying groceries is super, well, for the most part, is very affordable. The um I don't eat meat, so I don't know the cost of that, but I know like if you eat out at a Korean barbecue, like a buffet style or something, it's not that expensive. But for me as a vegan, I can buy my vegetables very low. Vegetables are cheap. The one thing that is more expensive um, would have to be the fruit. Fruit is extremely expensive, um, but I will probably talk about that more in my next video, which will be the top 10 things that I dislike or wish Korea could improve. Um, so I'll talk about that then. That's that. And number 3 will be the, oh my goodness, I'm not sure how to say this because I haven't said it in a while, but the andol heating, which just is like the style of heating here in Korea, in apartments at least, is through the floor. So the floor is, there's pipes on the floor and they get heated up and then the heat emits from the floor. So when in the winter, when you wake up in America, if you wake up and get out of your blankets and step on the floor, it's usually cold. If you don't have carpet, if you have wood floors or whatever, it's super cold. But here, you can get out of the blankets, put your foot down, and it's just like super toasty and warm. My cats love laying on the floor when the heat is going, so it's, I don't know, for me, coming from Minnesota, where like 9 months of the year is winter and super cold, I love being warm. So to be able to just jump out of bed in the winter and step on the floor and it's not super cold and it's just like a blanket coming onto your feet, I don't know, it's just perfect for me. I love it. I love it. Anyways, let's go on to number 4. So I love how easy it is to socialize with people here, especially at nighttime. There's many things you can do here with friends, like going to the noraebang, which is like a karaoke room, singing room here in Korea, where you can go with friends and you can sing songs, paying for a room. So it's you and your friends are in a room without strangers and you're singing and you're having fun. And I know in America, I've never experienced it because it's not my scene, but in America, the style of karaoke is more so like at a bar maybe, and you're singing in front of strangers and they're like there, you're just out in the open singing to everyone, people you don't know. That's not my style. But here it's really really fun to go to a noraebang and be with your friends and get hyped up and you're singing and you're just having a blast. You can dance because it's a pretty big room. Usually there's a space on in the front where you can dance, and then there's booths where you can sit down and a table where you can put your drinks. Oh, also another version of a noraebang would be a sojubang, which is basically a noraebang but with alcohol. So some friends who don't like to drink, don't like to sing, they can drink. Some friends who don't like to drink, they can sing. So then the party gets a little bit more crazy with all the alcohol. Also is very nice. The other thing for socializing is there's plenty of arcades everywhere. And I know in America, arcades are more thought for children, um, and adults are kind of like not supposed to go there. They're like more like uncool or whatever if they go. But here in Korea, the arcades are for children and adults, like young adults. I've even seen mm, guys in their 40s go to an arcade and like do the punching um, game or the kicking game. Um, but yeah, arcades are fun and cheap and everywhere. So if you just want to waste some time or have some fun, you can go to an arcade for socializing. I guess when I'm mentioning socializing, I can't skip the drinking culture here. Um, Drinking in Korea is a way to get closer with people and to relieve stress. Um, so it's very important here. Not necessarily like you have to do it, and even if you're with friends who are drinking, you don't have to drink. But being in that environment, that group while drinking is very good for socializing. I love how interesting it can get when you're drinking with friends. There's so many Korean games to play for drinking, um, which like maybe I can do a whole nother video about that because there's plenty and they're very fun. So I can introduce you all to those. But yeah, so norebangs, arcades, the drinking culture, and I think I've got to mention the like game rooms, um, which there's two different kinds. One is a board game like cafe slash room. Is pretty much what the name is telling you. You can play plenty of different board games there, and you just pay for your drink. Most of the time, you pay for your drink, and if you stay a certain amount of time, like an hour or 2 hours or whatever, you pay for each hour or each 30 minutes or something along those lines. It differs for each place, but yeah, it's very fun. So you can go with your friends and play board games and card games. They have American games as well as Korean games. So it's very fun. And then the other version of the game rooms would be more like electronic games, like Wii. Um, you can rent. It's kind of similar to the norebang, where you and your friends pay for a room that has everything set up, TV, and whatever game system they have, and then you just pay for your time there. And usually they give some free beverages and snacks, so it's very fun, very cheap, very affordable, and perfect for socializing with friends. And then for number 5, I gotta say, as a teacher here, I love my work hours, work schedule. So here I teach, in my contract, my maximum classes I can teach in a week is 22. So that's just 22 hours in 1 week is my actual teaching hours. For the rest of the time at work, since I'm at work from 9 to 5 p.m., for the rest of the time outside of my class time is just prep. So I'm able to prepare everything at work. I never need to take anything home with me to work on, to prepare for a lesson or anything like that. And from my time as a student teacher in America, to get my teaching license, during that time as a student teacher, it was ridiculous because from 9 to, let's say, 4 p.m., or maybe even 8 to 4 p.m., I'm not sure exactly on the timing since it's been a bit, but during that time, it was almost non-stop classes. you'd only get 30 minutes for lunch, and then 30 minutes with like a homeroom kind of situation where the students are supposed to be working on homework. Um, and you would get maybe one class as prep. So during that whole time, you maybe, if you include the homeroom time, you might get about an hour and a half ish around that time to prepare everything, to grade all your paperwork, to prepare your lessons for the next day, and so on and so forth. So during that student teaching time in America, I worked during the whole time at the school, and then I would have to go home or try to stay at the school for an hour or two to finish working on everything. And then most of the time I would just go home because I would just want to leave the school since I'd be there for so long already. I would go home, and then I would work on my lessons, grading, and so on and so forth. So it was ridiculous. Like the way that teachers are forced to work in America compared to Korea is just crazy. Like nonstop, no time for just going home and being free. So I really love how it's so different here in Korea. You teach only a certain amount of hours, but then the rest of the time at work is more than enough time to prepare your lessons for the next day or the next week, whatever you are planning. But yeah, it's perfect. I love it. I love the free time. Most of the time I still have at least the last hour of the day to just relax and go on YouTube or go on Facebook or something after preparing all of my lessons here. So I love my schedule. It is crazy good. I love it. And that, I wish some of that was implemented into the education system in America. That would definitely improve the whole situation going on over there. But done with that. Number 6, I love how short the winter is here and how mild it is. Again, I think that has to do with me coming from Minnesota, the land of more than 10,000 lakes and 9 months of winter. It's so freaking cold over there, but here the winter is super short. I don't even know how to like calculate when the winter started here or not, because it was such a slow and steady decrease in temperature over a long period of time. But I've gotta say, I maybe started wearing my this winter coat, possibly 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago, and it's maybe 3 months ago actually, and it's like the end of January now, so like it's already starting to get a little warmer. So I think maybe winter here will be done in about a month, maybe in March it'll be done. So it's so short and so mild. We only had snow one day, and that was New Year's Eve, and that snow did not stick. It was just a little bit of powdery snow, perfect for just playing and taking pictures and everything. But I definitely am loving it. I'm definitely loving it. Winter here is perfect. I am not someone who loves the cold. I can survive, I can adapt, but I don't prefer it. So that's number 6. Short winter, short and mild winters. Fantastic. Number 7 has got to be how easy it is to buy anything online, and how fast the deliveries are. You can buy your groceries online. You can buy, obviously, clothing and electronics, the basics, You can also buy, you can get delivery from McDonald's. You just order it and it's delivered to you. It's delivered to your house and super fast. Um, let's say, okay, so when I use the website, Korean website Gmarket to buy things, um, if I buy from veggie food and buy some vegan, let's say vegan dumplings, um, usually I'll buy it online, order it, and then most likely within 2, 3 days, it's gonna be delivered already to my apartment. And it's so fast. One time I ordered something, I can't remember what it was. I ordered it, and then like a day and a half later, it already was at my apartment. It's so fast, and food deliveries are also pretty fast because they use, most food delivery services use scooters, so they are able to drive super crazily, and go between cars and just get to your house super fast, like in 20 minutes or less, no matter where you are. So super perfect online ordering services and delivery. Love it. You never have to leave your house. You can just order everything from your apartment. Number 8 is what Koreans call service, which is basically the receiving free items with a purchase. You can definitely see this very easily whenever you go to any makeup store. If you buy a couple items, then you get service, which are usually samples, or if you buy a big enough purchase, then they allow, like, choose bigger items as service instead of just the small samples. It's so great. For example, let's see, 2 days ago I went to a makeup store to buy my sister some makeup as a gift, and I just bought 3 small items. It wasn't that expensive, but then I received as service 4 or 5 items as samples, and the samples that I received were quite big. There was a eye makeup remover, and the container was almost like half of the original size. It was quite big, and that's common, like, to get service like that. When ordering at a restaurant, sometimes you can also get service there with food. Like, for example, if I go to the local curry story restaurant and I order curry and whatever and a side or something, then sometimes I receive another appetizer on top of that with my friends, and it's just normal to receive these kind of services, these free items, free things, and I love it. It's always like an extra gift, an extra surprise, a Christmas gift or whatever. To me, it feels like that at least. But yeah, I love the services here, getting free service. And number 9 kind of goes with number 8, and that is how friendly and kind the Korean people are for the most part. Majority of my time here in Korea as a teacher and as a student, I've met so many kind and nice Koreans here who have helped me out. Let's say when I was lost, they helped me. If I didn't know how to say something in Korean, they would help me. They're super kind, and then whenever I speak Korean, they're always extremely, okay, for the majority of the time, they're very happy and excited that I'm trying to speak Korean, and trying to be a part of their culture. Um, and they're just so nice. They're just so nice and helping. Um, they're just super friendly, and I love that. I love that. Um, yeah, because sometimes it feels like here in Korea, it's you're not. If you see a stranger, you just there's a wall between you two, and you just don't communicate at all. But even with that wall in place, if you need their assistance in anything, you can still ask. You can go up to them and just talk to them, and they're they would love to help you out with whatever they can. Um, and I like that. It's nice. I like friendly people. And lastly, number 10. This one is kind of, I mean, it's very nice, but it's not as cool as the other ones. And that's the buttons in restaurants. So what I mean by that is in restaurants here in Korea, at your table, most of the time you will have a button on your table. You can push that button to have your waiter or waitress to come to you if you need help, if you want to order, if you want to refill in your drink, if you want to ask a question about something, anything. You just push the button and then they will come. Versus in America, you have to kind of like raise your hand and make eye contact with the waiter or waitress and try to get them to come to your table with like telepathic vibes being shot out. And sometimes they're just so busy they don't look over at your table, and it ends up being a long wait and a bad experience. But here in Korea with that button, it just gets rid of all of that, all of those problems. You don't need to try to send out telepathic waves and try to make eye contact and raise your hand, but try not to be too disrespectful with how you try to wave them over here. Yeah, it's just easier and less stressful just to have that button and push it whenever you need their assistance or service. So yeah, hopefully it'd be nice if that restaurant button was moved over to America as well. It would be very helpful, I think, for the customers as well as the waiters and waitresses with their work. But yeah, those are the top things I love about Korea so far, and I hope you loved it. And my next video will be the top 10 things I dislike about Korea, what I wish they would improve on. So hopefully you'll enjoy that video as well. Have a great day. Bye bye.